Welcome back. Today we got Motivational Mike and Lucas Montana on the podcast. Super exciting. Today I went on a run with Mikey today. I rolled the 1 mile. He's still doing his challenge. And then we played basketball and he whooped my ass in both. So I learned that I'm out of shape. Even though I look better, I don't have the energy like I used to have. So
how does it feel to be a top dog,
Oh,
Mike?
very true.
how does it feel to be a top dog?
Oh man, I'm never gonna forget that. Beat Tanner's ass. Nah, no, honestly, Tanner's a crazy athlete. He's whooped me like 99% of the times. It was nice having this victory on him twice today. It was great. Make sure to check out the challenge, motivational.mike_ on TikTok.
But I wanted to start with talking about this on this podcast because Lucas has went through a change in his life. He's back on the podcast, back hanging out with his boys, and we have a good friend Luke and Lucas. They kind of swap places. Luke, our friend Luke's, he'll talk about when he's on the podcast, but his girlfriend came back in town. They were doing long distance for 2-3 months in their relationship, and now they're in person. And you kind of did the opposite thing. You had your relationship. You guys have been hanging out all the time, creating memories, and now you're doing long distance. So just walk me through what's going through your mind and how you're not thinking of this in a negative way.
Great question, man. So how I'm not thinking about this in a negative way. I don't know. I don't see it as the end of the world. Like her going away for 4 months. I'm not going to say I see it as a good thing. I don't see it as a bad thing either. I just feel like when it comes to, we've been right now, it's been 4 days long distance, right? And 2 of the days we couldn't really talk to each other because she had no signal because of her work and what she does. But I'd say the best way to combat it is just to keeping each other updated and talking through it. Communication is key.
I mean, for you, I feel like it's almost like a test of like how strong the relationship really is. And I feel like after these like 4 months and you guys make it through like really strong, then you can, I don't know, beat anything that comes your way.
I was going to say, like, I'm very confident in our trust and our love that we both can make it through. So that's why I'm not really worried about it. Like, I'm confident, like, yes, these 4 months are going to be hard, but I also believe that we can do it together. Because one thing she told me is like, before we ever commit to anything, like we both have to think about, is this something we really want to do? 4 months separated away, because it's huge. You don't realize it until like it comes and it's right in front of you. Like throughout the 4 months we've been together, I've never like once been like realized like, wow, this is actually real. But now it's actually happening. And I told her like, yeah, I'm willing to go 4 months, If you're willing. She said yes. We're both willing, and we did it. We decided. It's a big test.
How was that conversation right before she left? Like, was it? I don't even know. It must have been like a real conversation that built.
No, we've had this conversation before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we've had it before. We've talked about it in the beginning, towards the middle, a little bit towards the end. We've always talked about it, and you just gotta like really lock in. Like I also thought about it. Like, I don't know. It's like this stuff's never happened to me before. Something new. And I told her like, I've never done long distance. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I'd rather do it with you than no one else.
Wow. That was deep.
Yeah. Like I'd rather like go through, maybe if we go through hard times, the good times, the bad times, the sad times with you, like with no one else. That's what I told her.
Can I tell you something? I think relationships are so good for people. No matter if it ends, no matter if you get married in the end, I think they're so good because they bring out a side of you that you've never knew existed. I've been in 2 relationships. They've ended, but I've seen so much growth in myself within those relationships. And I've seen sides of me that I didn't even know existed. Like I saw an angry side. I saw a sad side. I saw a happy side. So I feel like, especially with you right now, you're going to see emotions that you've never seen before. Like whether it's that you miss her, you care about her, just things that you want to touch on that? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've gone through a whole bunch of emotions. I mean, it's the long distance is fairly new. So we've only done it for 4 days so far. So I can't really like say I've gone through like a lot of emotions except for like sadness and like missing her because, like think about it, like you spend your weekends with someone, like you spend your weekends with her, you guys would like cuddle in bed, and now it's like when you go to bed, it's like you don't have that like person with you, like that warmth, that extra warmth that keeps you kind of, I say warm at night, but like at peace, at calm at night. If there's something bad, she'll be there. Like they'll always be there for you, and like you'll be there for them. Wait, what was the question again? I know, kind of went on a rant.
There was no like question. It was just saying that in relationships, I think they're so healthy because you see sides of yourself that you never knew existed, and you just learn so much about yourself.
Yeah. One thing I learned a lot from this relationship so far that we've got into it. Patience. Patience is key, ladies and gentlemen. Learn to be patient. Learn to be patient. I'm sometimes not a very patient person, but you have to learn to be patient. That's number one. Patience.
Why? How did you learn that?
Trial and error. Trial and error. That's all I have to say. Another thing, someone told me this once. I stick by this forever. Happy. Well, we're not married, but happy wife, happy life.
I was about to say that.
I've heard that. Which is true. So if you're in a relationship, remember those words: happy wife, happy life. Everything would be good.
Another thing I learned from relationships and just in life in general, I told Michael this one time. They don't know how you feel unless you tell them. They don't know what's going through your mind or how happy they make you, or if you guys get in an argument, what made you upset until you tell them. So I feel like communication is key in some points in relationships or even friendships.
Yeah, communication is a lot of key. Something we both that we're both doing is working on our communication, because like my past relationship, I didn't really have like, I got hurt, lost some trust, I got developed a little bit of trust stuff, and then with my new girlfriend, I was able to bring that back, and I do truly trust my girlfriend at the moment with like everything. So yeah.
What do you got, Mikey?
I mean, I've never really been in a relationship, but I feel like a lot of my friends have been, and I've learned so much from them, and just how like a relationship, I guess, works. And like you said, like I guess they do bring out like another side of them. And for I think most of them, they were really happy when they were with this person, and it just makes me want to get into a relationship because of that. And I'm excited to get into one.
And another thing I want to say is like you shouldn't force a relationship. It just happens out of nowhere. Like I was never like how we met.
Your fingers just happen to type that DM.
How we met, how like what happened. I like never expected it to happen. Never expected her to come into my life or me coming into her life. And then all of a sudden, 4 months we've been together for, which
it's crazy. I remember when I was hanging out with you, I said, are you guys together or what is it? You're like, we're just hanging out. Like we're friends. And then like asked you 2 weeks later, you're like, I like her.
Yeah.
You asked him again. They're in a relationship.
Yeah, it just happens out of nowhere. And then the thing about this is like this relationship that I'm in with her now, I've never like had to second guess myself on anything I've done.
That's huge.
Like I've never
go deeper on that though.
Oh yeah, I mean, like once we first started talking, like I'm like, okay, I know I'm not gonna talk to any other girl because it was weird. We just had an instant connection like that out of nowhere. Because when I first called her, that was happened. We were texting on Instagram, right? And then I'm like, I did this method, guys. I'm gonna put you on. I've never done this method before. First time I've ever done this thing before. You FaceTime, right? And I FaceTimed her, and we started talking. And as we were talking, I'm looking at the time. 2 hours gone by out of nowhere.
It didn't even seem like it.
It didn't seem like 2 hours. I'm like, holy shit, that is crazy. And that's always stuck with me till this day. And then we went on the date.
What's the method?
The FaceTime method, right?
No, what's the method?
That's the method.
FaceTiming?
FaceTime before you meet up with her.
Oh, that you really think so? I mean, I feel like the whole point in
I'm not gonna get
when
into
you
it. But
first
yes.
meet someone, it's like there should be that little awkwardness, and it should be, and you should have your first conversation in person. You don't think so?
It depends, but I wanted to see. I mean, due to our situation, I'm not gonna get into it, but due to our situation, if you know, due to our situation, I just don't want to get into it. I don't really want to share it with a lot of people.
Oh,
Yeah. But yeah, I did it. And then, we clicked from there and then we started hanging out. And then she told me that I was able to change some of her bad habits, which is like, wow, really? That's crazy. I never like you never know how much one person could affect you in your life. It can make you like really good or really bad. Like it's insane what one person does to your life.
has anybody made you really bad?
Bad?
Yeah, you just said someone come in your life and make you very good or very bad.
I mean, bad. Someone's came into my. Yeah, I'd say so. I've had some like negative influences in me before, but like just old friends. They like negatively influenced me. We just weren't doing the right things.
I agree with you that people can come in your life and help you grow and help you and make you feel worse because my old friend group, they made me a worse person, which you know.
Yeah, and then you don't realize it. You really
I
don't.
didn't. I didn't realize it until it was over and I just looked at myself. I was like, damn, you're very immature. What were you doing? What about you, Michael? Have you ever had any good or bad influences?
Yeah, I've had both. I think I've definitely had more good influences and really helped me push me along my journey of life rather than bad ones. And I just try to limit the bad ones and just help me out a lot.
You speak like you're at an NBA post game interview. You just say
That's a
something
good
quick.
thing, though, right?
It's too quick, bro.
It's too quick.
Blood's
Speak.
Blood's media trained over here.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have too many good influences.
I mean, it's kind of vague, but yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I mean, I don't want. Let's not get into specifics or name call, but
Yeah,
haven't you
exactly.
said like recently, someone's been like negatively influencing you, and you felt like you had this
I mean,
weight
I
on your
didn't-
shoulder, and then like once you kind of blocked them off, you just kind of elevated
I didn't
more.
want to get into it. I can, but yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like someone, was a big negative influence, and I took them out, and I'm a lot happier because of it. And I urge people watching at home to when someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. It's a quote I really like, and I feel like people should remember that and apply that to their life and their situation.
But how do you know who they really are? Because when you guys first met me, you guys could have seen me. Oh, this kid's immature.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, like you saw me the first time. You guys gave me another chance, and I'm a different person than I was. So how do you know if you're going to give someone a second chance?
I can answer that question. I think depends, because when you really meet someone one-on-one and you form a great connection from there, I think it's a super solid foundation. With me and this person, I didn't have that connection one-on-one, to be honest. I really only met this person and got to know them within a friend group, and I just didn't have that connection to begin with to really build on top of that. And also, I think that how someone treats you with other people around you, that's how you can really determine who they really are. If they treat you the same, like if you're one-on-one, or if they treat you the same when you're in a friend group, and they treat you differently, maybe harshly when they're around a group of people, maybe because other people are doing it to them, or maybe just because they want to be cooler or something like that. I feel like that's how you know you shouldn't be around that person and cut them out.
That's huge. In my old friend group, there's this one kid.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good.
Would you ever give
nothing after
said person a second chance, or would you say it's over with?
I don't think so. I mean, that's another topic about second chances. I don't really agree with that, because I've spoken to this person and he just seems like the same old person, and I don't think so. At least not at the moment, and probably not in the foreseeable future. My life's just better without this person in it. That's the truth.
I could touch on that with Tanner because I knew Tanner before he met his friend group. I knew him when we used to play at the YMCA together. And then I didn't meet Tanner when he was kind of like douchebaggy. And then now he's not anymore. So like I met him like douchebag, and then no douchebag. I'm not trying to be like in a like
No,
rude.
you're right. We've talked about this before. I'm not
Yeah.
sensitive about it.
Yeah, so like I've known him like between like 3 stages in his life, which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
You know me for a while.
Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
And
I wanted to touch on that like from me, I kind of left it.
we're just calling me a douchebag.
We could leave it like that.
Me seeing like the changes like made me want to give him a second chance. You know?
Bro just watched me grow through my whole life.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like back to what we were saying, if we bring it all the way back to like past podcasts, you always had that question you've asked, what's the hardest thing you ever done in your life? And that's shaped you to the person you are now, doing what you had to do.
Wait, repeat that.
Like the hardest thing you've ever done in your life was go to Thailand, right? And you're spending that time in there. And then that shaped you into who you are now.
So you're saying that people, it's okay to give a second chance to me because you saw how much growth I made from doing that hardest thing I ever done in my life.
I mean, I never knew you did that.
I know, but like now you're seeing like they kind of go hand in hand.
Exactly. Think about everyone, because I feel like that happens to everyone. Like you need something hard in your life, and then you'll see that person change out of nowhere. Like Michael's doing this challenge right now.
I was about to touch on that. That's actually why I'm doing this challenge. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I want to push myself.
We don't know what type of person will become after it. It's only time will tell.
A better person. That's the plan of it.
So what do you, now that we went through all this, do you think it's okay to give someone a second chance, Michael?
I don't think I would never give someone a second chance, but I think it just really depends. I feel like if you cut someone off pretty early on, like when you met them, then you should be open to giving them a second chance in the future. But when you've known someone for years and years and they've exhibited the same behaviors over and over, and like what I said, like treating me differently in like a group of people, and I don't think they will change. Me personally, I could be wrong, but even if I am wrong, I wouldn't, I guess have a loss. It wouldn't like negatively affect me because of it. I think it's a net positive for me to cut this person out, even if they do change in the future.
I understand. I mean, that's a good answer. Like I love that you have your own opinion. Just stay true to that. I wanted to relate this to I guess relationships. And let's say I'm dating someone and we break up, it's done. We go no contact for years and years, and then the world just brings us back together. I feel like it's the same thing with friendships. I feel like the world brought me and Lucas back into each other's lives. Like we were friends in the YMCA. He saw me at one of my worst stages of my life when I was immature, bad. Yeah. And then I came back after Thailand and I asked him to do the podcast. Like it's just weird how I just asked him to come back in my life.
Yeah. Like we didn't like prior basketball, we were talking, then we lost contact, then we met again, and then we lost contact again, and then we met again.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like losing contact, meeting again. And he reached out to me or I reached out to him. It was just very like, it just happened, And there's the thing, everything happens for a reason. Like you said, with the person that you're probably having a problem with, it could be bad or good, but you see it as a net positive. And that's good that you do that because you're staying on business,
Exactly. I think that's really important.
You stay true to yourself.
Yeah, no, that's really important. Kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, I agree with that.
You could think about what you're going to say. Think about what we said and respond.
Again, me personally, I think me and this person are too different. I feel like I'm a pretty driven person. This person isn't really ambitious. So I feel like that also fueled my decision into that. I love being around like-minded people. and winners, and that's who the two of you guys are. And I mean, we were great friends, and my friends, I feel like, are all pretty successful in that sense. This person isn't, and they also treated me not well. So that's a reason why I did that.
I mean, yeah, it's your choice at the end of the day. You know, if you feel it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to do for you, and you just stick with that. Which is a good trait to have, because you know, it's not a lot of people can do that. You don't go back on your word.
Yeah.
And word is something very important to a lot of people.
Me especially. You guys know that.
Yeah. Wait, Tim, why did you reach out to Lucas after like no content and then like asking that big question?
The podcast?
Yeah, about the podcast.
Is that when we started becoming friends again? When I asked you to be on the podcast? I feel like there was something before that. Were we playing basketball or nothing?
Honestly, I can't even remember.
That was so long ago. I remember.
Like, I remember we hung out during the one chip,
and then after that, we were on the podcast.
Like he was a guest or he was the co-host?
No, I came in as a guest because
I know why.
Oh,
I know.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So I remember I really wanted to. So listen, I just did my podcast with Rachel, Ava, and
the
I
girls
think
only. That was
Ella.
like the best
Yeah,
performance.
it was the girls on it, and I had the girls' perspective of relationship. And I was thinking after that podcast, I was like, who in my life is mature and can talk about relationships because they've been in one, and I could talk to them about deep stuff? Because Zach was being very consistent with the podcast, and I kind of needed just someone to come on and just talk deep. And Lucas, I remember we were talking, you were like, I'll talk deep. Like, why not? Like, I'll go deep with you and talk about relationships.
I remember that now. Yeah.
So you came on and we did an episode. It was either just me and you or me, you and Xander. And we talked about relationships. And then I was like, wow, Lucas is really good. Like, we got something going. So then he ended up joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. You know, it's a crazy fact that I forgot to tell you guys about the podcast. We have over 190,000 views on the podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's good.
Think about that. Over 190,000 views.
It's just consistency. I talked to Ben Cohen. He said, because I had a meeting with him when we met at Starbucks. We talked like business, like some stuff that we might do together. And he said, I said, I'm so worried about the content I put. I want to post stuff that I like. I want to talk about topics that I like, but I don't know if people who are watching will find it interesting and stuff like that. He goes, don't worry about that. He said, do what you want to do and post what you find interesting and fun. And all that you have to worry about is just having fun, because people will naturally see your faces more and more. They'll know you. They'll know Lucas. They'll know Michael. Your faces keep getting out there, and that's all that matters, is just exposure. So it put in perspective, like, damn, he's right. Like, I just rather post and be consistent, and people start knowing our faces and know the Kicking Ass logo, know that stuff. I feel like that's us. I feel like we built that a lot.
No, yeah, I agree with what he said, because people, when you start to build a brand or a personal brand or a community, people who are like-minded, who are like-minded will follow you because they agree and like what you do. I think it's better to have like a small army of loyal supporters than like a big army of people who may or may not support you.
That's good. That's a really good quote.
To add on to that, I would say, to add on to the tail end of that, I would say that you shouldn't put other people's, I guess, interests above your own, especially when you're being creative and you're bringing people together. And another thing is, you can't make everyone happy, because like you said, like, oh, I don't know if these will do well, even though I like them. What about what other people are thinking? You can't make everyone happy at the end of the day. So honestly, just go with what your heart says and just create what you think is best for you.
Just trust your gut. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So I feel like we all just gave our takes off the podcast. That was I like how we all ended it right there.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
So it was great talking to you guys, and I'll see you guys tonight at Yard House for the